You can see in this image of the Earth that the Earth looks distinctly different from the other inner planets that we've talked about. It does have an atmosphere, but you can actually see through the atmosphere and see the surface. You can see water, you can see ice caps, there's clouds, there's land. So some interesting differences between Earth and the other planets we've talked about so far. Again, you're going to be taking notes on this note sheet, which you already have. You've been taking all your planet notes on this note sheet. Today you're going to be taking it right here on the Earth section. Okay. So let's find out about the Earth. Made of rock, just like the other inner planets. Its temperature, average temperature, is between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So if we average the temperature on the entire planet, we know the highest temperature ever recorded was 131. The lowest temperature was minus 128 in Antarctica. So these are big temperatures, but generally our average temperature on the planet is between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That tells us something about the planet that's different from the others, because the other planets don't have that nice, mild average temperature. They all have very extreme temperatures. It is a small planet. It's the 5th largest planet. So there are 3 planets smaller than it and 4 planets larger than it. It takes 24 hours to spin around, 365 days for it to go around the sun one time. This all makes sense because 365 is less than Mars, which is farther away, and it's more than Venus and Mercury, which are closer to the sun. It does have a magnetic field because it spins fast, and it must have a metallic core of some sort. It does have one moon, which is sometimes referred to as Luna. That's why it's called a lunar eclipse. It has an atmosphere that is quite thick and made of 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen, which is always confusing because people think it's all made of oxygen, but it's not really. And the other 1% is made up of all the other gases that we have here on Earth. So they're called trace gases because they're in tiny amounts. Lots of surface features: mountains, oceans, plateaus, volcanoes, valleys. There are craters on Earth. There's all kinds of features because we have plate tectonics, we have erosion that create all these different features on the planet. Speaking of plate tectonics, there are 3 things that make the Earth different from any other planet in our solar system, any other planet we found so far. Water exists on in all 3 forms. It's the only place we know of that life exists. And it's one of the very, very few places where plate tectonics happens. So those are things that make the Earth unique. There are about 5,000 spacecraft that have been put in orbit around this planet since we started launching spacecraft way back in the early or late 1950s with the Russian launch of the Sputnik. I'll just talk about one, the Hubble Space Telescope, which this year is the 30th anniversary of the Hubble Space Telescope being in orbit around this planet. It has expanded our knowledge of space enormously from all of the research images and data that it has returned. So we've got lots of spacecraft. Some of them look at the Earth, some of them look at space, and some of them are for communication, some of them are for a whole variety of reasons. So that's the Earth. What you're going to do today, you're going to continue work on your alien project. You should have already selected your planet here. You're going to then go to one of the websites. You're going to start finding out the information to fill in all of these blanks right here so that you have all your information about your planet. Once you have all the information about your planet, then you can start designing your alien. You should draw it on a paper that's the same size as this one, a blank white piece of paper. All of your information and your alien should appear on the same side of the paper. You're not turning this in. This information will go onto the alien project. This is a place for you to record and keep it organized. Also note at the bottom, there's this large black line around the bottom, and that is an area where you're going to make up stuff about your alien based on the planet. It's not completely made up. Obviously, if your alien lives on a gas planet and it has legs, I'm going to wonder how it moves around. So think about that when you're designing your alien.